The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, squeezably soft host, for another day of broadcast excellence. And, of course, we've got a market out here that's actually acting weak. I thought with options rollover that we'd have at least an attempt to rally today. I guess they did, but it was even far weaker than I thought. I was waiting for the thing to get back up to about 1998, 1999 on the S&P cash, and I was going to let a ton of cash flow to the short side. We were going to go to the dark side. Reach out with our feelings, young Skywalker. Anyway, wanted to pull it, never got the opportunity. So we've already got lots of shorts out there already, so I'm not going to cry over spilt milk. But certainly this market looks incredibly weak these days. And, first bounce, I'm going to be all over this again like white on rice. And we will continue. Anyway, when we look at the market, of course, what we want to be looking at is the volume and the price movement. We're down another 8 points on the S&P cash, 1986, and we've got just a hair under 2 billion shares to start the show. And, of course, good, not fantastic if you're bearish. Good, better than it has been in the past. Normally, these down days in the past that have been somewhat up, somewhat down have ended up being about 3.2 or 3 billion shares at the end of the day, and then rallying on lighter volume. So not just the huge down days that last one day and then fizzle. We've actually got two back-to-back days out here, and it's going to start making the bulls out here at least a little bit nervous. And, of course, if you look at the intraday chart on this, we had a nice little rocket up in the first early part of the day, but it's been selling off since then. And I suspect we continue to see that kind of action until China decides to step back in. And right now I think it's all about China. I think that everybody sees that if until numbers start moving up in China, all the commodities will be lower. We are seeing just a smidgen, an inkling of support in gold here. This 1225 area needed to be support, but I think it's pretty much broken. I think it's going to be short term. Still thinking that we get 1180 out of gold for the lower test, and it's very tough for gold to rally in the wake of declining markets, where people are going to be looking for cash everywhere. And what can you say? Silver's off 4 cents, up almost $7 on the S&P. On the gold contract. Crude. I hadn't updated the contract. I guess we need to do that. So I'll check that during the break. Other things of interest out here. I'm going to get into it in a minute, but certainly I feel like I let one get away. I wanted a bounce to get into some positions yesterday. We're going to look at them today just because all I wanted was about another 50 cents to have just a little breathing room going into earnings on one. We've been talking about this sector for a while, and that's the automotive sector. But I think we've got have seen the high water market probably for the next year in automobile production. And I think as soon as the election's over and we're going to see the end of the ability to do a lot of these subprime 8-year lease-back mortgages on cars that have been flooding the market. A little hair of the dog that caused the problem in 2008. I think everybody knows that once they get through the election, that's all they wanted to do is just get this thing to the election before the bottom drops out. And certainly looks like this market's going to have a very tough problem holding that up. But I'm going to say that right now there's you would want to be bullish in things like natural gas going into cold weather. To me, it looks like people are selling whatever they can to raise cash and probably get ready for the short side. As I said yesterday, I probably went on a little bit too long about the call with Fleckenstein and the probably just ignorant of the market info babe that was on there. But I think that Tuesday was probably the day that I thought, boy, if the market doesn't break here, it's never going to break. And certainly those next 2 days, we saw a lot of movement in the summation index. And I didn't think that there was any way with the absolute huge majority of stocks going lower that I had much to worry about higher prices, and it looks like it's starting to work out. Now, will we have some sharp rallies? I don't think so to begin with, and the reason why is what we've talked about for the last few weeks, and that is super high margins, or margin rates, people on margin buying stocks, and incredibly low short interest on everything but a handful of stocks. And we're going to look at some of those. And we will come back. And anyway, what else do we have out here? Pretty much it. On this day in 1988, we talk about this quite a bit because it's such a teachable moment in the markets when people say that they can build a computer that will, at least more than a few milliseconds, beat the market. Of course, long-term capital management. I think this is from Paving Wall Street? I think it is. Wall Street top investment banks encouraged by the Federal Reserve complete a marathon negotiation for $3.65 billion bailout of the giant hedge fund long-term capital management, which lost nearly $2 billion in a single month with mathematical models designed by two Nobel laureates. And Fed chairman tells Congress that the global economic crisis triggered by Russia's loan default is likely to intensify pressure on the U.S. economy. All of this is good news, reckons the Wall Street, on the assumptions the Fed will have to cut interest rates in response to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It shoots up 257 points. And, of course, they didn't. In fact, the market was getting ready in October to have one of its worst days in history. And Mr. Greenspan and the Treasury dudes had to walk out about midday when I think it would have been the equivalent of 500 or 600 points down in the Dow today. Walk in there and turn the market around midday. And I thought it was the Treasury guy. I think it was the original Paulson, wasn't it? I'll have to go back and look at it. I forget these things. As my buddy says, my memory is the second shortest thing I got. So other things going on out here. We've got a election in about 2 weeks in Brazil. I asked our friend Andy Heck if he thought it would make any difference in commodities. He didn't think so. I did read some articles over the night, though, that it does look like we might see some movement in some other markets coming on. But it does look like, I guess, overnight, the latest round of polls have the environmentalist coming up and maybe getting rid of Dilma Rousseff's hope of a re-election. So things may change. They may be pushing more to the socialist, environmentalist side, and that will be it. Yeah, everybody see those pictures of Wall Street last night with all the smelly hippies running around? Kind of interesting to know that the people that are so interested in the earth left 4 tons of trash behind them on their big deal on Sunday. And, of course, do nothing more but run around causing rife and turmoil. Also interesting that the people that espouse using less energy the most, big movie stars getting asked if they're going to get rid of their 4 yachts and 8 houses. We've also got ex-politicians like Kennedy. That was a great interview, I thought, when someone asked him, okay, you've got 4 houses, you drive a big Escalade from Cadillac, and you've got a bunch of cell phones, and you said everybody needs to get rid of those, or are you going to get rid of them yourself? And the answer was no. So quite an interesting idea. Unfortunately, it's hard for me to buy into a lot of that when you see that people that run this thing either make hundreds of millions of dollars selling carbon credits and other things, and use it to try to impose laws to restrict my freedom. So interestingly, none the worst. Yeah, I just think they're a bunch of smelly hippies. Anyway, we will have, I guess, the second largest IPO of the week. At least it's scheduled. But boy, has it gone quiet. And maybe it may be this movement out here. But, of course, we had Alibaba last week. I don't know who in the right mind wanted to have the second largest one after Alibaba. But we do have another one coming this week. And my question is, how long? I mean, there's a ton of more IPOs to come out. Are we going to see the general market just click down every time another one of these IPOs comes out as they sell, getting ready to come into yet another week of more IPOs to suck a lot of cash out of this market? And that's going to be the interesting part. But either Thursday or Friday, supposedly this was coming out, and we will look and keep you informed. But to me, I don't think for all the stories of all this cash sitting on the sidelines, rings a little hollow to me when we see the margin rates at the highest since actually right before the break of 1987. So we've got some fairly long ranges, and of course that margin's almost all long. Very little short interest in this market. But I digress. It is a mad market. We didn't get into a lot of charts yesterday, so I'm going to try to finish up the news in this segment. And, where did I go here? Where did I go wrong? Needed to get my charts up. That's what it was. But did want to get into a few of these, and we shall keep an eye on them. We talked about that. I'm trying to find my clock here so I can see how much time I've got left, and I don't know what I did with it. I got about a minute and a half. Okay. Anyway, you can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. When we come back, we're going to look at CarMax. I've been talking about this for probably a month or 6 weeks in this sector, looking fairly horrible. KMX. I saw this coming, wasn't able to really get it because I was kind of worried about the whole issue with earnings this morning, and of course it plopped down. We're going to talk about the rhyme and reason about that. In the meantime, before this break, I know what you should be doing, and that is going to the front page of TFNN and quickly signing up for our trading competition. I think you have to be signed up by noon on Thursday, and if you do so, you're going to be in league for $10,000 worth of prizes, and sometimes all you got to do is log in to qualify, and you can win. I think there's all kinds of prizes and stuff, but go to the front page of TFNN and check that out, and I'd appreciate it. It's one of the ways that you can contribute to TFNN without spending a dime, and even maybe making some on the back end. Show our sponsors that you are interested in what you hear at TFNN.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
With the launch of Tiger TV, TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, David White, Larry Pesavento, Andy Hecht, Think or Swim, or Terrell Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
Andy Hecht's powerful weekly newsletter, the Technomental Commodity Report, has delivered multiple triple-digit winning trades in recent months. And right now's the perfect time to get a full month-long trial to Andy's newsletter with no obligation to pay anything. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Technomental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you'll lock in the low rate of only $59 a month. Sign up right now for the Technomental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
You've always taken the long view when it comes to investing, but what if there's an opportunity right under your nose? What if you could be more responsive to market trends to seek to boost your portfolio performance right now while seeking to reduce your overall risk? At Direction Funds, we connect investors with alternative strategies that seek to maximize their returns. Smart investors deserve smart alternatives. Find yours at directionfunds.com. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risk charges, and expenses of Direction Funds carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Funds. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact the Direction Funds at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. Investing in index funds may be more volatile than investing in broadly diversified funds. Distributed by Rafferty Capital Markets, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen, live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den, absolutely free, for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
And we're back. I've got my headphones turned up just a little too loud. I got it down here. About blew my ears out. Anyway, we're talking about the car space for probably about 2 or 3 months. And a lot of times it takes a lot of patience out here. But certainly CarMax had given every kind of signal that this thing was going down. I was hoping to get maybe a little bit of volume in before it comes down. But certainly nobody was selling before this. But boy, did it volume look weak. This pretty much looks like the pattern. You don't get a lot of opportunity to get some elbow room before you started. Yesterday it opened down. I wanted to short this thing, and I kept on thinking that maybe they were going to push it before the end of the day, and maybe I was a little greedy, maybe a little late. Maybe I should have just plunged ahead. So many times we've seen these stocks on happy news bounce up a little bit higher. And it is interesting, but a lot of these stocks have big gaps down here, and they are coming back to it. When we look at KMX, what I was really looking at in my newsletter and thinking about, but not acting on because of earnings, was the June 20th high at $53.67. You had 12 million shares. That's the huge gap up. You tried to get through it again on July 9th with 2.5 million shares. Tried to get into it again on 1.3 million shares. I should have just bought the bit the bullet. But now I've had about 4 or 5 of these in the last week that have all failed. So I'm going to assume that it is a target-rich environment. I can take the weapons locks off and not have to worry about these things coming back at me near as badly as I have in the past year. I've been very nervous about going into earnings because even with poor earnings, they've come back and said something like they're going to be buying more shares. Almost all those financial tricks and trickery are gone. And I think we've got maybe some clear sailing. It is going to be tough for me to not pull the trigger from now on. But you had a lot of these stocks hanging out here at light volumes. You got a lot of ones with big gaps in. This thing did come back into the gap with light volume, so you could say it's in an upper trading range. But we've talked just so much about the fundamental reason about all these cars, $18,000 cars with 7-year leases and long loans and everything in the world. And as interest rates rise next year, depending on when they're going to rise, this market's probably going to look back. And of course, markets always look about 6 to 9 months ahead, at least in the equity market. And of course, today we're kind of getting that confirmation, I suspect. We may get a little bounce out of here into that IPO this week. But, we're printing off here at 1984 and a little bit of change off 10 points on the S&P cash and volume 2.1 billion shares on the New York Consolidated Tape. So not much else happening out there. Had a email. I wanted to get to it. UBNT. And Ubiquity Networks. Have Larry from Michigan emailing me. You can email me too at path@tfnn.com. When we get into this, it is rather interesting. I think what he was looking at here is this big move to 37.66. And what can you say? It's, we're below it. Volume is the same, so you got to assume that we're going to come back and test this high volume low at $30.50. I love this company. I loved it when it came out. It had some horrible rumors being passed around about it, and I always wanted to buy it. I love the technology that these guys have, and I missed a huge run out of here because I couldn't tell what was the truth and what was rumors, and when the next time someone was going to come out and say that he was part of the mob, he was molesting kids. I mean, this is one of these stocks that you just could not get away from all the occasional news out there, and I'm sure it was to depress the price of this stock, but it got down, and I just I kept seeing that news, and every day it would be hammered down, and I stayed away from it. But I love the company. It makes wonderful Wi-Fi routers and access points that you see everywhere. I don't think anybody is close to building anything they do. If I could get back down to that $30.50 level, I would love to see that. So as we get back in, I can just barely hear the music. I mean, just tinily hear the music out there if the engineer's listening. Almost not at all compared to the commercials. So we will be back in a minute, and we'll see you then. Give me a call, 877-927-6648.
Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped, and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's Nadex.com. or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN, and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
No matter where you listen to TFNN programming, we want you to know you can always access your favorite shows on demand through TFNN.com. TFNN airs live programming every market day from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Eastern, and you can view each program by accessing Tiger TV through our homepage. We even have an easy link for all mobile devices, including iPhones and iPads, located at the top right-hand corner of the TFNN homepage. You can use your smartphone to view Tiger TV, but if you don't have a mobile connection that can keep up with streaming live video, then you can simply visit TFNN.mobi in the browser of your smartphone for live streaming audio of all of our programs. The mission of TFNN is to educate our audience directly and interactively through our interactive website and radio call and talk shows. TFNN is able to teach all levels of investors the technical skills needed to trade in today's marketplace. In order to get the best information possible, TFNN has assembled the most respected financial minds in the country to provide the most current news and comprehensive advice available. TFNN.com. Educating investors. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, it is somebody wants to whack the IBB. Well, I think that is going to be one of the ones out there. I think it's got fairly high short interest in all those right now, and I think it's going to be tough to get a lot of those moving. Down day today, we should see Tesla coming through its comeback, and it's one of the super high short interest rate stocks, and it came way off the lows here. But 250 looks like kind of support right now in a lot of these high short interest stocks, the few that have huge short interest, like a Tesla. I suspect we're probably going to get a bounce and a short squeeze out of those, and that's going to start setting the ABCs down on Tesla. So right now, I think we probably made at least a short-term pop on there, but 268.06 is the 50% retracement. I'd love to get into that, maybe a few bucks more, maybe 270. And I think I would want to pull the trigger there. We need to get a few of these weak short holders out of this market, because this is certainly one where they can always come out with some news at any time and start screwing with us. On the short side, of course, and cause a short squeeze. You always have to worry about those stocks that have such high short interest. Want to look at a few others out here that are moving out here today and seeing what's going on. Let's see if I have anything else out here. Most of these, especially Chinese internet stocks, not doing a whole lot. MBLY was being pumped last night on CNBC, I think. Let's see if it comes back out here. Of course, something's going on here. Oh, I know what's going on. I messed up. The Mobile Eye is it hasn't been out that long, but one of the few stocks that's moving up today. It's up about 6%. But our old friend, Mr. Kramer, who was such a fan of pumping up some other stocks, has been pumping this one up. We'll get to CRR in a minute. Anyway, MBLY, certainly one of these stocks that doesn't have a long history out here, but it is up today, so you kind of have to look at, even with China being a little bit weak out here, that it is one of the few companies finding some room. CRR, which is Carbo Ceramics, I didn't talk about it yesterday. Wanted to look and see how it did today. This was a stock that was another pump by Mr. Kramer, and boy, did he run it all the way up with his gang. This is another thing that kind of makes me think that we are in that kind of circa 2000 range where we have a lot of people basically driving stocks to unsustainable levels. This was up at 256 not too long ago. Another one of these with monstrous high short interest rates up there at the highs. So everybody and their dog apparently on Wall Street knew it. I couldn't even begin to start borrowing the shares for this. They weren't available anywhere that I could find. And I'd watched it. And, of course, this thing pretty much has made its three-gap down play all the way down. Now, they make a special kind of ceramic sand to go in and hold the veins of fracked wells open. And what a lot of the people have found out is that you can use regular sand in a great deal of these mines. So before they start using the carbo ceramic sand, they start using regular sand. It's actually a polished sand, but sand nonetheless, at about half the price, and that's really started to hurt Carbo Ceramics along with the price drop. Of course, you can't afford to use their high-priced ceramic if you're only getting, 92 bucks? What is it today? What's crude at? 90 some odd? I forgot to look at it during the break. I'll need to get it next break. Anyway, when we look at that, this thing has, like a rocket, headed back down to its old support levels. It's just a few bucks over the June 24th, 2013 level, the $60.33 level from October 24th. But I think you're going to probably see this go pretty much that $60 level. I don't think that there's much chance that you don't hit those untested lows and that gap. I mean, we got kind of close. But the kind of volume you have today, basically, you're looking for a washout. And this, I mean, you could go back even further. Boy, how much farther are you going to have to go? This thing just, take a look at it here. My God, the devastation in the stock is just about unthinkable. Well, there's another gap there at 52 to 54, and that's the last gap. You've got to move all the way back down to the lows of $30.38 possible on this thing. But man, talk about getting up and failing at the highs. But what a stock. Not a lot of energy on this last move up. This is really a good example of what I was looking at on Carbo Ceramics by looking at the Power Law Vector Indicator. And that certainly is the 3.8 number on the way down from the November 16th, 2011 high down to the October 24th, 2012 low. compared to that low on October 24th, 2012, up to the high here on July the 1st. And then this whole thing falls apart. This is one of the predecessors and what we can probably look at in a lot of these stocks that have questionable business plans and that have been pumped by the latest dancing creature on CNBC. But keep an eye on it. Let's go back to a kind of a short one here. Wanted to get to some other stocks, so we got plenty of time today. Give me a call at 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. Or email me at path, P-A-T-H, at TFNN.com. Or you can post a message in the den. I don't see any right now. Why is Guy object of these rumors on that? I think that maybe they were just trying to slam the stock down. We're back talking about not Ubuntu. I'll keep on thinking about that. Ubiquity, Wi-Fi hot points. And I loved it because I had one up when I was living up north where I had to shoot it across a lake almost a mile. This thing, about $78, worked perfectly for several years for me, and it was amazing. And I got into it and figured out how to use them and write even custom software to do a few things I needed it to do, like auto log on, because the thing was about 50 feet down the line and around the corner and then on the end of a dock. And had to do a lot. But it is interesting nonetheless. But I digress. Let's get into some of these other stocks out here and see how they're moving. I've been waiting for Weight Watchers and don't like that the volume's picking up here today. But certainly a lot of these stocks are going to come back and fill these gaps before they roll back over. I think we pretty much talked about this thing when it hit down here at 1909 on the July 15th low when it tested the previous 1950 low on March 24th that had 1.4 million shares. Tested it with 50%, did exactly what it should do, which is start moving back up. And, of course, now what I want is some fairly light volume in the next few days to keep an eye on it. And, of course, you can always get a trial of either or one of my newsletters by going to the front page of TFNN.com and checking them out. If you haven't before, Worthington Industries, WOR, famous radio station, I think, in New York. When we find out what this company does, I don't know what's going on here. I'm having problemos. Maybe it's an internet problem. Let's try once again. There we go. Metals manufacturing company focuses on value-added steel processing and manufacturing metal products in the United States. So anyway, a very short-term move out here, but it does look like we're going to find maybe some of these things starting to shore up. Maybe the lighter commodity price will make up for the lighter demand in steel. But actually not a bad-looking chart. Anytime I see a low being tested with half the volume, not 10% lighter, but 50% lighter, you got to stand up and take notice. Of course, the day before that low out here actually had some fairly decent volume, 575,000 shares. That was on the 19th. But still, you know, a much lighter than this heavy volume down day that seems to have set a low on the 31st of August. So keep an eye on that. If you're into steel, come on. There we go. Mr. Slow Internet today. Another one out here is Walter Investment Management Corp. Don't know much about them either, so we'll bring up their profile. But talk about bouncing along these lows. What you have to dislike about it is what you dislike in the rest of the market, and that is that as it's gone below these lows with lighter volume, it hasn't popped up. It's just continued to auger down. And a lot of times, the first move off the bottom of a long-term low has no volume. And a lot of times at the highs, you don't have any volume because everybody always believes that they will have time to get out. And, of course, normally what a market does, if it is run correctly all the way to the top, is make people think that they should buy every dip down. And, of course, they never sell. and they end up giving all the profits they made back in the bull run plus some more. And what we look at Walter Investment is just a nice slam down, what I call a exhaustion low on February 27th, $24.11, 6.9 million shares. Then came into it to $24, pierced it, came back up 1.1 million shares, almost a nice rally out there. But the last few days, very light volume. So a few stocks out here trying to make some lows. Trimble Navigation. And again, as I sold in the daily newsletter, these are out every morning and pretty much every day that I think it's worth putting charts in. So if you want to see these in the morning before things get going, and of course I don't cover them every day on my show, maybe not a bad thing to get every morning, especially if you're into price and volume trading like we are at TFNN, a good opportunity to get some of the best stocks fresh in the morning in my newsletter. Of course, what do we have out here is Trimble Navigation now. Again, not a bad-looking chart. If I'm wrong about being on the downside to the south on the markets out here, I certainly do like Trimble Navigation's chart out here. It gapped up. That gap happened on the November 1st of 2013 with 7.5 million shares. Came into it with 3.3 million shares. You could have bought it then. Came into it with 2.9 million shares. Made a smaller bounce. Now back into here with million shares or so far today. So probably not a short candidate if you're looking at any of these, but certainly some of these stocks look awful good. What else? Okay. What else do we have? TGB. Tasco Mines Limited. Some of these stocks out here continuing to break down in this mining industry. Some look better than others. But we need to be watching that gold contract up $6, so nothing to write home about yet, other than maybe a small respite. I still think we're going to get slammed down with a huge gap down one morning in gold, and that may be what we need to set the lows in at least the metals, if not the miners too. Anyway, the Tasco Mines, you had the December 19th, 2013 low, $1.78, 720,000 shares. So yesterday we had 342,000 shares. We're down lower again, 564,000 shares. What you don't want to see is this thing break that 720,000 shares. My guess is that you will, though. Okay. Some of these Chinese companies that everybody sold to go out there and buy I got to move this little thing over here. There we go. That everybody sold, it looks like it may be making some kind of bottom out here. You got to watch it. But like I said, there's so many of these stocks that look like they made a bottom have just continued down even on light volume. So you got to be really wary about these stocks. April 29th. So you got something. You got to be really worried about Sohu too, because we're seeing these stocks out here. April 28th, $52.68, 2.1 million shares. So we are into that in lighter volume, and kind of interesting to see these companies. But I have a feeling that we saw a lot of the selling in some of these, and if we do have one more run until Christmas left in the gas tank for this market, I certainly think that this would be one you want to look at. Look at that Sohu. A very, very light test of the lows so far anyway. We'll be back in a minute. Give me a call.
Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
We're told to follow our passion and everything else will fall into place. I hope that's what each of you are doing each and every day. Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Money Master Show at TFN.com, and my passion for technical analysis is what led me to the most fundamental discovery in pattern recognition, the Rhodes Momentum Indicator, market scanner, and trading strategy, a set of tools that identify the momentum and power of the trend, the likes of which have never been seen before, for every market and every time frame. Yes, folks, the trend is your friend, unless you're on the other side. New to technical analysis? This is the place to start. And experienced traders, take advantage of the trend like never before. Experience the power of the Rhodes Momentum Indicator each day, available to subscribers of my newsletter service, Mastering Probability. I guarantee your satisfaction for the next 30 days unconditionally, so there's no risk to you other than being on the wrong side of the trend. Mastering Probability, available on the homepage of TFNN.com. And folks, live with passion.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're getting into the long in the tooth in this show out here. Andy, I guess he's going to be talking about something. He's got yet another article out, and I was IMing in the weekend that I need to he needs to get an RSS feed so I can see when he has new articles. Send him a link on how to and what RSS is about. I've got about 60 RSS feeds that I look at and check about every 15 minutes for news, at least in the technology field. So quite a lot, but I digress. Of course, you shouldn't digress, nor should you dither, nor should you tarry. You should go to the front page of TFNN and check out our trading contest. We're going to be giving 10 grand away, and that's going to be very sweet money that you can make with no risk. especially if you're a new trader out here, probably a wise thing to do is to try a little bit and have some real money on the line, even though you can't lose some. It does kind of tend to change when you can lose money. I remember Jesse Livermore, there's a famous passage in his book I read over the weekend, and he's talking about how actually having money at risk changes you psychologically. And he said he met a lot of people that never actually put any money on stocks, but bloviated a bunch about them. And he said one time he told this guy the story about the two guys that were going to, or one guy that was bragging about what a great shot he was as a duelist, and that he could snap the stem of a wine glass at 20 paces. And the other guy turned back to him and said, "That's all good and well, but how good are you when the wine glass is shooting back?" And in a nutshell, that is trading, isn't it? It is what happens when you actually look at it. To TRP, we have a request for TRP. Oop, I didn't get the T in there. We will try to get it back in. Oh, what am I doing? I'm typing the wrong thing again. TRP. TRP. I'll get it here soon enough. Somebody, Terry in the den, is looking at it. And we've got Trans-Canada Corporation. This thing's kind of back on light volume. Looks to me like it wants to come back and test this gap between 51 and 52 and bounce again probably off of it if there's no big volume out here. Trans-Canada Corporation wants to see what they do in the minute and a half we have left in the show here. Operates an energy infrastructure company in North America. Operates in three segments: natural gas pipelines, oil lines, and energy. Well, I guess pipelines and oils and transportation probably not going to be too much affected by the price of crude. People are still going to be using the same amount. But interesting that it's got a little downward action today and no volume. I do like that. But, boy, what you want is this to get into that September 15th candle that had 2 million shares with light volume. You got what here today? 1.8. So if this gets back down there at 51.63, you could set that up, and you would want to set your stop just below the, what is that, August 22 low of the day. There's $51. So I'd probably stop out with any kind of close below $51, which is the low of that day. But that's you're in that trading zone. So yeah, is that what, $51? Yeah. So well, what would you have? Maybe a 60, 70, 80 cent range on that. Probably pretty good risk reward. TRP for our friend in Keystone Play, he says. Well, that'd be interesting. Anyway, always reminding you to sell when you can, not when you have to. And catch us tomorrow or later on Channel 14 on Tiger TV. As always, same bat channel, same bat time tomorrow.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
You're watching Tiger TV.